We're here on this special day. Our hearts are full of pleasure. A day that brings the two of you close together. We're gathered here to celebrate a moment you'll always treasure. We ask Allah to make your love last forever. Let's raise our hands and make dua like the Prophet taught us. And with one voice, let's all say, say, Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and greeting to all of you. Today my group will talk about Islamic Investment Companies of Egypt, IICE. Now I will explain about the background of the Islamic Investment Companies of Egypt. The investment companies of Egypt came to prominence at 1985 until 1988. They were investment companies of inviting deposit from the public on which they paid high rate of return, but in form which did not offend against the Islamic interdiction on interest dealing. Their activities enjoy wide media coverage and form the subject of heated political debates. They also pose serious problems for the public authorities. Islamic investment companies of Egypt culminating in the collapse of some of these companies in 1988 and cessation of deposit taking from the public by all the others.
We're gathered here to celebrate a moment you'll always treasure. We ask Allah to make your love last forever. Let's raise our hands and make dua like the Prophet taught us. And with one voice, let's all say, Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. Barakallahu lakuma.
Chronology of the case in Egypt is some investment companies called the attention of regulators and the media in Egypt in the years 1985 to 1988. These investment companies began operations in the 1980s and were based on a profit-sharing principle, Sharikat Tafis al-Amwal, accepting deposits from the public and investing funds in Sharia-compatible modes. During 1985 and 1986, these companies attract the attention of investors when they start to offer high rates of returns from 20 to 30% claim as profits. By the end of 1986, there were 190 registered companies concerning private investment and operations and 19 non-registered companies. These investment companies were able to attract a large number of depositors from all walks of life, and according to some estimates, by 1988, they managed about 500,000 customers with deposits of between 4.5 and 8 billion in Egyptian pounds. The rate of return offered was so attractive that money flew out of the banking sectors, and in some cases, investors create arbitrage by borrowing from banks and investing in these companies. However, these companies were not subject to any regulations and supervisions, and the operations of the companies lacked transparency.
We're gathered here to celebrate a moment you'll always treasure. We ask Allah to make your love last forever. Let's raise our hands and make dua like the Prophet taught us. And with one voice.
The chronological problems of Islamic Investment Company of Egypt happened in 1980s. This company collapsed in 1988. They attracted a significant proportion of private savings, including remittance from Egyptians working abroad, and channeled domestic funds and foreign exchange away from the official banking system. Thus, in the view of authorities, effectively constituting a large unregulated financial sector in competition with the official banking institution. Besides, Islamic investment company was required to be a regular shareholding companies by legislation enacted, which is issuing share certificates in exchange for deposits, rather than simple receipts, and planning a limit of £50 million of Egypt on the authorized capital. All companies were forbidden to take new deposits for 3 months while they decide whether to comply with the new regulation or to go into liquidation.
We're gathered here to celebrate a moment you'll always treasure. We ask Allah to make your love last forever. Let's raise our hands and make dua like the Prophet taught us. And with one voice, let's all say, 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 Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. Barakallahu lakuma.
This episode of failed investment companies become a very interesting social issues as it sparked a debate between the defenders of investment companies who thought that the legislation was intended to discourage the spread of Islamic financial institutions and the Islamic economic ideas. On the other hand, the critics of investment companies took this opportunity to accuse Islamist factions in society. The result was a political struggle of ideas without realizing that it was a simple case of bad governance and supervision and lack of regulation. In short, the failure of investment companies in Egypt caused a considerable reputational risk to Islamic finance, and for several years, this episode was quoted in discussion of Islamic finance. It clearly breached the trust of the investor who were cheated in the name of Sharia-compatible investment and damaged the reputation of Islamic finance for decades to come.
We're gathered here to celebrate a moment you'll always treasure. We ask Allah to make your love last forever. Let's raise our hands and make dua like the Prophet taught us, and with one voice.
Islamic investment companies in Egypt are no less disposed than conventional banks to losses or even failures that can result from corporate governance breaches. Corporate governance is important to enhancing efficiency, mitigating risk, increasing stability, and promoting economic development. And Islamic banks are gaining prominence as they increase in number and presence and grow in asset, so that they need to ensure that they practice prudent corporate governance in IICE. They also need enhanced role of institutional investor to improve corporate governance. From the improper regulatory framework problem, Islamic investment companies of Egypt need institution and infrastructure to handle liquidity crunch. Besides that, law and regulation should be clearly specified without ambiguity, and insurance of depositors against fraud is needed.
We're gathered here to celebrate a moment you'll always treasure. We ask Allah to make your love last forever. Let's raise our hands and make dua like the Prophet taught us, and with one voice, let's all say, 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 Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. Barakallahu lakuma wa baraka alaykuma wa jama'a baynakuma fi khair. From now you'll share all your joy.